If you know how to swim, then there is no reason why you shouldn't start having fun with various water sports right away. Impress yourself, and everyone else, with 10 crazy cool water sports, which are easy to learn, even for absolute beginners. There are several motivating reasons for being on, in, and underwater, and for loving it. Apart from the adrenaline rush, while getting toned and tanned, the key benefits of water sports can be summarized as improved mental health, increased bone density, prevention of heart disease and diabetes, providing a natural treatment against arthritis, enhanced metabolism of the body, as well as ensuring that you can stay rejuvenated throughout the day. One thing is for sure, water sports are always fun-filled. The thrill of enjoying the deep blue water, cool wind blowing in your hair, and the excitement you get while gliding through the waves, or spotting rare marine life forms, can create memories to last. Some water sports can be extreme, or even dangerous, while some can be relaxing and energizing. Whether it's for leisure or for competition, almost all water sports have a universal appeal for beginners. If you don't select something sophisticated like technical diving as your first ever water sport activity, then don't worry, because there is a large selection of crazy cool water sports that are beginner friendly, safe, and practiced by millions all over the world. After a few lessons, and exercise runs, they will surely generate the highest level of fun, and sense of fulfillment. The first one, of our top 10 favorite water sports is, stand-up paddleboarding, otherwise known as SUP. If you have a minimum sense of balance, then you will learn how to stand on the paddleboard, and start having fun on a SUP, almost immediately, just after a few tries, and, of course, inevitably many plunges into the water. A paddleboard used to be a large and heavy piece of equipment. Nowadays SUPs with innovative designs are inflatable, hence very light and easy to carry around in a bag. Some advanced types of SUPs are even equipped with a kayak conversion kit, which comes in handy if you like to go fishing on a kayak, reach the far opposite shore of a lake, or visit a nearby island. Another alternative use of a stand-up paddleboard is converting it into a yoga mat. Just imagine, greeting the sunrise, while floating on the ocean's flat surface, or in a calm fjord, and practicing yoga on your SUP. Whale watching on a SUP is the best way to interact with these gentle and intelligent giants. It is a safe and silent method to be one with nature, and therefore, another highly recommended way of paddleboarding. Use your imagination for other ways to enjoy your SUP. At first sight, flyboarding appears like something from a James Bond or sci-fi movie. In fact, it has a lot of similarities to riding with a Segway personal transporter. The key to successful flyboarding is all about correctly positioning yourself on the flyboard, and keeping your body weight at the center of the board. Just watch a few short instructional videos on the internet. Such simple research should be enough to teach you all that you need to learn for flying high above the water, and impress everyone watching you. We simply love scuba diving. Understandably, considering the high-tech fancy equipment, combined with the physics of the water, and your body, there is some key knowledge to be mastered, before start moving weightlessly over colorful reefs, or exploring some mysterious wrecks. On the very next day after your arrival at your travel destination, I would highly recommend giving scuba diving a try. It surely will be an amazing experience to get a first glimpse of what it means to be able to breathe freely underwater. Making use of buoyancy, to effortlessly and weightlessly hover over corals, and watch the marine life around you, will change your perception of our planet. Free diving is at the same time, equal parts mental and physical, internal and external, as well as meditative and thrilling. In very simple terms, it involves the use of relaxation and breathing techniques to enter a state that allows a diver to spend extended periods of time underwater on a single breath of air. Swimming underwater is like flying, and freediving is like subsurface meditation. The feeling of being weightless, of having the ability to move whichever way you please without gravity limiting you, and feeling the water gently pressing down on your skin, what can be more peaceful than that? Freediving requires less equipment than scuba diving, and you have the absolute freedom of movement, whether it is somersaulting through the water, dashing deeper to see an octopus, or gently ascending to take a breath alongside a turtle. Just give it a try to find out if freediving appeals to you. Often categorized as a hobby, rather than a sport, snorkeling is about the joy of watching and appreciating the beauty of the underwater world. If you are trying snorkeling for the first time, then I recommend going from the beach or using the ladder of a pier, instead of jumping off a boat into deep water, which under circumstances can be daunting. Snorkeling opens the gates of the underwater world to humans, and at advanced stages it can lead to scuba diving, or freediving. It is an ideal sport for children, and of course, also suitable for curious, and nature-loving people of all ages. If you combine snorkeling with some advanced gadgets, like compact underwater cameras, or an underwater scooter, then the fun factor will surely increase significantly. Speaking of cameras, underwater photography is the next very cool water sport we like to warmly recommend. As an absolute beginner, you can go snorkeling, and use a compact waterproof instant camera, for example Fujifilm FinePix XP140, to start taking quite decent pictures of fish swimming around you between some rocks, or resting under a pier. Of course, there are also more advanced ways of being involved in underwater photography. The top of the pyramid is macro photography. Searching for rare sightings, and finding a tiny shrimp hidden between the branches of a similarly colored gorgonian, or a well-camouflaged blenny putting its head out of a hole under a coral, are just two examples of what a fulfilling hobby, sport, and adventure underwater photography can be. For great underwater photography, and videography with artistic value, advanced buoyancy scuba diving skills are required. Preferably some level of experience with the use of a rebreather apparatus would be necessary too, in order to avoid scaring marine life with air bubbles. Since the early 70s, videography secured its place among the top 10 of most favored hobbies. Thanks to advanced, easy-to-use, compact, and also increasingly cheaper camera technology, underwater videography is now claiming an even higher top spot in this very same list. A common challenge with making videos and taking photos underwater is that there are often small particles of sediment and plankton in between the camera and the object of interest. When divers use a flash, light reflects off these particles, and shows up as bright dots in the final shot or in the video. This reflection pattern is known as backscatter. To address this problem, experienced photographers and videographers use flashes that are off to the side of the camera, called strobes, so that when a photograph is taken, most of the light reflects back at the strobe and not directly at the camera lens. The majority of what has been explained in conjunction with underwater photography, also applies to underwater videography. Before going too deep into the sophisticated details of these cool water sports, why don't you just rent, or purchase a subsea camera and simply take a plunge? You will love it. Nowadays, Some modern kayaks are equipped with the innovative design feature of being foldable, which is very convenient for transporting them on board an airliner, or in your car to your vacation spot. When it comes to spending quality time on a kayak, there are several exciting options available. Most relaxing among them is surely whale watching, for example off the coast of Vancouver Island, while your drone hovers over you and captures breathtaking moments of you in your kayak, surrounded by gentle giants, in the majority of cases, humpback whales, or orcas. Although kitesurfing, also known as kiteboarding, is a water sport, it comes very close to flying. It's quite easy to learn for beginners, but we still would not recommend starting your first try with a jump from the helipad of a skyscraper. The kite is the most essential piece of equipment needed for this sport. They come in two types, a leading edge inflatable, LEI, and a foil kite. Due to the forces of physics, a kite does not fly with, but through the wind, like the wing of an airplane. Other than the kite, there is also a control bar, and lines attached between the bar and the kite. Furthermore, there is a harness used to connect your body to the control bar. And finally, there is the board. Boards come either as twin tips, directional, or hydrofoil types. Kitesurfing is another crazy cool, and beginner-friendly water sport. However, in order to frequently jump out of the water, and fly, advanced kitesurfing lessons are required. Qualified instructors can be found in most vacation spots around the globe, such as the kitesurfing camps for beginners in the US. If you like riding a motorbike, then there is an equivalent water sport, namely riding a jet ski. Jet ski is actually a brand name by Kawasaki, given to the first personal watercraft of its kind in 1973, and since then the name established itself to be generally used for all similar devices. When you follow a few basic rules, you are good to go almost immediately, even if it's your first try. The first rule is about safety. Always wear a life jacket, and keep the engine shut-off clip attached to your waist at all times so you can cut the engine if you lose your balance, and fall into the water. Always be aware of your surroundings, and never drink while operating a jet ski. Start off by holding firmly onto the handles, and engaging the throttle while keeping your speed low, about 5 to 10 miles per hour. At this speed, you can practice your turns. After you are comfortable, accelerate slowly to gain speed. It's normal for the nose of the jet ski to lift slightly from the water. Lift your body above the seat a little bit to minimize the impact as the jet ski hits the water again. The last rule is about avoiding collision with another vessel. When overtaking another vessel, pass with care and make sure to stay as far away from it as possible. That's it, congratulations, you are now a seasoned jet ski rider. Water sports can be addictive. The medical explanation suggests that exercise causes the release of endorphins and dopamine in the nervous system. These chemicals create a sense of pleasure or reward. Exercise addiction may be, in part, dependent on this pleasure response. Well, this might be the underlying reason, but we firmly believe that if you breathe the salty air while gliding over the waves, jump into the blue water, and become part of another world inhabited by fish, invertebrates, and corals, you become amazed and addicted. After you spend some time at the shores of an ocean, or in fact even a lake, or a river, returning back to the dull, gray, often stressful city life is often combined with a disappointing feeling. Therefore, try to enjoy every moment of your precious vacation time with something meaningful, such as learning a new water sport or increasing your level of expertise in a water sport that you might have started during the previous year's vacation. In any case, water sports are fun, they are crazy cool and bring lots of benefits to your body and soul.